I am joined by Dino Drimakis from NMK. Now, Dino, we originally tried to schedule this call a couple of weeks ago, but you were over in Qatar at the time on quarantine. So, yeah, take me through your situation at the moment.
Well, bouncing from country to country, you always have to be in this quarantine of 14 days. It's been a bit painful. Initially, it was just stay at home for 14 days. And now it's a complete lockdown in this part of the world. So extremely painful, but under the circumstances, we're trying to make the best out of it and trying to be proactive with whatever we can. There's a lot of internal stuff that we're trying to work on. So just fixing processes in general.
How's day-to-day working for NMK now?
In our generation, we've sort of understood Zoom conference calls with clients and understanding web conferencing in general. So for us, a lot of the sales teams, at least, we've been very proactive with it, reaching out to clients, just catching up and just generally, having common conversations and understanding where they're at, whether it's financial implications, whether it's emotional, whatever the case is, just be there for them. The only operational is logistics for warehousing. But apart from that, everything else is pretty much shut down. So there isn't really much that, from an operational aspect we can do, apart from, host conference calls within group meetings. And like I said, just structuring stuff that we really didn't have time to focus on. There was a lot of stuff that we wanted to fix internally in terms of our operation, our ERP, our certain things and processes. But, at the time, we were just too constantly busy with, other more important stuff with regards to, the sales side of things, and the commercial aspects and the opportunities that were coming and us focusing on. At this moment in time, it's really a handbrake and telling us, hey, listen, now it's time to sort of go back and, implement what was in the pipeline for us to start working on as a business operation.
Sure. So, just a couple of days ago, you announced the NMK Digital Academy. NMK Academy has always been a big element of what you guys do. So, yeah, take me through that briefly.
I personally believe that we were one of the first companies in our industry itself to really focus, as a distributor, to focus on education. And we wanted to constantly embed that, to educate, to train, to guide, and to support our clients and their clients, to make sure that the whole process of the operation was well aware of what they're investing in, well aware with the implications on, investing in the right kit versus the wrong kit. We had a whole 2020 pipeline of, training academies all across 2020 with several different manufacturers that we represent. We're just taking that and implementing it on a digital platform, now that we can't really physically be there, which actually grows our audience a bit. Yes, a lot of people do want to feel, touch, understand a lot more while they're playing with this stuff. What we wanted to do is, we're seeing so many manufacturers now focus their time and efforts to, doing the educational side, which is great. It's great for our industry as a whole. We're proud, we're learning a lot. But for us, we've always been wanting to sort of steer things a certain channel and to make sure that, all our clients, our followers, people that support us are guided and sort of focused towards one channel where they can choose, because there's just too much stuff going on all across. It's just focusing it and directing it to a certain clientele and client base.
It's going to lead to kind of some long-term changes in the way that people work in this respect. I've spoken to some other people that have had to move their operations online and have suddenly actually gained a much bigger audience than they ever had in the first place.
Yeah, to be honest, our industry is a bit behind in terms of how we operate. It is a bit older in terms of, we do sell technology, but we're not selling, we're not advancing it ourselves. I think now with our industry, sort of seeing this, our industry itself is going to take a very close boost into this IT domain. Luckily for us, I think we've always been, spearheading that as well. We've always wanted to spearhead the IT side of the business. So a lot of that is also being trained on our courses as well. How the networking side is entering our analog world. So it's been an interesting time for the whole industry, and I think for us, it's definitely a twist of how things are going to be changing.
Those conversations you're having with clients, presumably you had projects in the works at the time that this started that are maybe are in uncertain times at the moment. Generally, the conversations with people going that we just can't do them now, but there's still things that we want to commit to in the future?
Living in the Middle East for several years, you see that on a constant basis. You have spikes and dips. It's not consistent like in Europe and the States, where we basically have peaks and dips. So I think that, the guys that understand, the guys that are mature in the business really understand how to sort of get around this. The project-based business definitely has been hit a lot because of delays, specifically for Expo being publicly announced that, they're going to be finalizing an extension, which is the right thing to do in my opinion. But I think that a lot of people that did have projects in their pipeline for 2020, a lot of it is going to be pushed to, end of 2020 or post 2021. So it's definitely a roller coaster for a lot of companies. I think we're all in this together. We have to all be understanding, aware of the times, the good times and the bad, the business that we've grown from people and the business that we're not going to be able to see in this year. But I think going back to what I mentioned, the consistency aspect is the most important. Being consistent of who you are, what you believe in, how you do your business, how you conduct your business, how you conduct relationships, and vice versa with them. That's going to basically make or break people down the line. So for us, like I mentioned, we're trying to be as consistent as we can from our side.
So Dino, thank you very much for joining me today. I wish you and everybody at NMK safe operations over the next few weeks, and hope we can get back to as usual.
Cheers, brother. Thanks a lot. Take care, guys. Be safe.